It's time to down tools for a bit. Welcome to the ToolShed, the influential podcast for anyone and everyone involved in the building industry. Here's your host, Mick Hawes.
Hey folks, welcome to the ToolShed Podcast. As you would be aware if you've been listening to this podcast in the past, we're looking for all sorts of people with platforms and ideas and philosophies and tools and suggestions to make the builder's life easier. In the past, we've spoken to empowering women in trades, the Go company, all sorts of different organisations that are contributing to females having a better deal and getting rid of the friction and the unnecessary experiences when females come into a previously male-dominated space, which is just really cool. We talk about it a lot. It's one of our favourite topics. In this particular episode, we're talking to Steph Apostolidis. She's known as the Melbourne Chippy Chick. She's also created a space called the Lady Tradie Club. So we're going to unpack all that. Really looking forward to it. Before we do, just need to remind you that if you haven't done the Builder Scorecard, there's a link in the description up above. If you click that, it will take you to a series of questions. And what it will do is it will help you identify a potential issue that you have in your business, that when you focus on it and fix it, it can eliminate a whole bunch of other problems that you're experiencing. And the trouble with most small businesses, particularly building business, the business owner is that close to the problem, they often don't see it. So this 90-second session will help you identify what it is. And what's really cool is that shortly after you do it, not only will you get a score, but you'll get some suggestions as how you might be able to fix it quite quickly. So it's a great investment of 90 seconds. So jump in there. So let's get started. Steph, welcome to the podcast. Where do we find you? Obviously, you're in Melbourne. What area of Melbourne do you hang out in?
Well, I'm a Port Melbourne girl. I haven't always been a Port Melbourne girl. I grew up in the northern suburbs, but my husband lives in Port Melbourne. So I live by the beach, thank God. I love the beach. And so I'm a Port Melbourne girl.
Excellent. Now, your nickname or AKA the Melbourne Chippy Chick, how did that all come around? Was that something that people called you? Did you take it on yourself? How did that all get started?
Well, so the reason why I started my Instagram firstly was I didn't really enjoy Instagram for like a personal page. So I used to talk a lot on Snapchat. So all my close friends and family, my cousins, I used to show them my work. So I used to show them like how I do skirtings, architraves, miters, things like that. And they were like, oh, that's so interesting, you know? And then a friend at the time was like, why don't you create an Instagram page, you know, and show the world what you're doing, show the world your work rather than just your friends sort of thing. So I was like, you know, that's not a bad idea. And then I knew that I wanted to just dedicate the page to my work. Like I didn't want to have personal stuff on there. I just wanted to show my work, show the tools, carpentry, the techniques, things like that, just to hopefully educate people and show them things they haven't seen before. I didn't get I didn't have a business plan. I didn't really think it was going to take off like it did. It was just more for fun for me and just to show people what I was doing. So that's what it was. I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, what can I have? Like, what name can I have? And I think my dad actually named me that. But he always called me the Chippy Chick. He said, how's my Chippy Chick going? So my dad always called me Chippy Chick. And I think just Melbourne Chippy Chick came up in mind because I was from Melbourne. And, yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, that's very cool. So were you working for somebody else? Did you start your own business? How did you get into a trades-based business in the first place? Was it something that you'd always wanted to do or you fell into it? I mean, I became an electrician because my dad was a builder and I came home from school and he said there's an electrician coming over giving you a job tonight and if you don't take it, you'll be working for me. So the choice was made for me. I didn't want to work for my dad, so I'd never even thought of becoming an electrician, and that's how it happened for me. I kind of fell into it. What's your story? How did you get involved?
Well, I discovered I hated working indoors during my career.
Yeah.
In call centers and call centers and call centers. So 5 years I worked in call centers after high school, and I just hated it. I hated that it was repetitive. I was indoors. It was just at a desk. It was sedentary. It wasn't for me. So I actually started doing traffic control for about half a year. And I loved it. I loved getting up early. I loved being at different locations. I loved getting my hands on. I loved being physical, the people, the culture, just everything about the trade and the industry. And I loved watching the work getting done as well that I was doing traffic management for. I just loved it. And my uncle actually said to me, he's like, why don't you do an apprenticeship with your dad? Like, why don't you do that? And I was like, it got me thinking. Me and my dad are we are so close. We are exactly like each other. We've got the same humor. We've got the same way of thinking. We've got the same likes. We love soccer. We love building. We love working things out. We love patient, like just getting into things, just discussing life in general. We just have the same mentality. So we're very close. Our whole life we've been very close. He's a carpenter by trade and a domestic builder unlimited. So he's a DBU, and that's how I got into my trade. I used to love going to work with him before I started and just looking what he was doing. He would explain to me the processes and what he was doing, and I was like so interested. I was like, I love that, And then one day I just said to Dad, look, I want to be a builder. I want to do what you do. And he's like, well, if you want to be a builder, you can't just be a builder. You need a trade under your belt. And I was like, all right, well, I want to do what you do. And he goes, well, you need to do your carpentry apprenticeship first. Once you've done that, then you'll need to know, like you'll have the knowledge to come on site and say this and this is wrong. You need to do this, this, and this. And also not just know that it's wrong, to actually know how to fix it. So if they try to outsmart me or say something a bit, it can't be done because of X, Y, and Z, I'll be like, look, mate, I know what I'm doing. I'm a chippy, and this is the reason. And a good thing is my dad's a builder, so I didn't just go through my apprenticeship and my 12 years with him learning just carpentry. I learnt everything as a builder. So from contracts to, starting up, temporary fencing to all the trades. So I pretty much from start to finish, we would build units, houses, townhouses, and I would know the process and which trades to hire now and everything. So I'd learn how to estimate, order materials, everything. And I learnt that through him, his patience and time. So yeah, that's my story, and that's how I got into the trade, and I have such a passion for it, and I'm in love.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. We're always trying to bring you information that's going to make your life as a builder much easier. So give us a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. It's great when people love what they do.
Yes.
As I mentioned in the introduction, we've spoken to people in empowering women in trades, Hasia Atherton, a bunch of others, Go Girls that are putting, sanitary packs into trades-based businesses and other types of businesses just to overcome the challenges that females have coming into a previously fairly male-dominated space. And correct me if I'm wrong, but my thought is that you may have had some benefit because you're working with your dad and it would have been a slightly different environment for you. But did you notice any of those sorts of challenges being a female in that male-dominated space, even though you were working with your dad? And was that the motivation for starting the Tradie Lady Club at all?
It was not the fact that the that men peed in pipes that toilets were supposed to be, and the fact that they're quite unhygienic. It wasn't the fact why I started the Tradie Lady Club. That's a different reason. But yes, I did find some difficulties on site. The toilets, the culture itself was very male dominated. So just having, nothing really thought about for women. Like there was no clothing for us when I first started. I had those like wide leg, weird ass clothes, like for men, and we just had to find things that worked for us and just fit in and try to be comfortable within that industry. And a lot of things have changed now, which is really good, which is amazing, and that's what we want for women, to feel comfortable to enter into the trade mentally, physically, and the environment to be at a standard that we feel comfortable coming to work. But yeah, so I find that a lot of things did inspire me, but the main reason that inspired me to start the Tradie Lady Club was that I was very lonely at work and felt that, I couldn't share my work with my friends even, or, I would go home from work, I'd talk to my friends about my work, and they wouldn't really understand what I was talking about. And there was just no women around me. And when I did see a woman, I was like, I got so excited. I'm like, oh, you're here, you're in Flu. And, I used to get so excited. And then we just sort of came together on Instagram, and the group was created that way. It wasn't intentional to be this big. And, it just sort of it just took off. It took off because I think it was one of the first. This is not a money-making company as well. This is more of a community. So I don't charge memberships. I don't get money off this. It's more a community, and I get money from sponsors to then hold events, or we do dinners or rock climbing, or we have a night out, or just come together. We have barbecues at the park, giveaways and stuff from sponsors. So it's mainly just a community thing that we come together, we get to know one another, and we get to meet other like-minded women and, have fun, have a bit of fun and feel less alone, and know that there's a Tradie Lady Club. We're at the top, and just know that you've got a whole backing of us, 2,000-3,000 of us that are in it as well, and we're not alone. So I've definitely accomplished that, and I definitely am proud to say that there's so many more women in the industry because they've seen us. They've seen that we can do it. And it's pretty much just given people a bit of a push to say, look, we're here and we love what we do, and there's so many of us. And I'd be talking to people and they'd say, oh, you're a tradie. I've never seen a female tradie. There's not many of you, are there? And I'm like, there's actually a lot of us. Like, once, you actually realize and bring us together, there's a lot of us. Mm-hmm. So that's what I had to do, bring everyone together and show, like with my platform on the Tradie Lady Club Instagram and the Melbourne Chippy Chick Instagram, show that there are a lot of us, and it really changed people's minds on hiring females, and giving them a go, because they see my work, they saw what I was doing. Then I also promoted a lot of other women's pages as well, which they dedicated to work. So slowly, there was more women putting their work out there to say, look what I can do, look what I'm doing, look what I'm achieving, and hire me. Or even just their apprenticeship journey they're showing, to show other girls and men how well they're doing, and that they love their job and they're very capable. So, that's why I started it. And that's, and I love what I'm doing, and I love what it's done. So it's good.
I know the power of community. I mean, we have a community builders business black belt, which are all, owners of building businesses, residential building businesses. Many of them are sort of the husband and wife type thing. And one of the things that they feed back to me is just the value of being part of a community and knowing that other people are feeling the same way, and that's a really cool thing. You have events, you have get-togethers, all of that sort of stuff. What are some of the topics and the discussions that you cover in these get-togethers? I'm sure that much of it is simply the social part of it and getting together and just being together and creating that community feeling, being part of something special. But I'm sure you also have conversations where you are unpacking and talking about better ways of doing things and how different people have dealt with some of the challenges that are thrown up by being a female in the trades-based space. So what are some of the discussions you find that happen in your community get-togethers?
So we have some really good conversations, and then some really bad and sad conversations. So a lot of us have, you know, a lot of it is positive. It is hard. It is hard for a woman being in the trade, physically, mentally, and everything. Just for men as well. So it's not an easy job. So it's not just that. Sorry, my dryer is going off. But so it's hard for both, you know, genders. So a lot of the bad things that are happening just because they are women in the trade is actually quite sad. And it's good to have a community to just vent it out and have other women come in and say they've experienced that as well, and also show or explain how they've handled the situation. So there's a lot of things that, like, I'm the CEO or founder of the Tradie Lady Club, but I don't know how to answer those things because I was pretty much, you know, after 2 years, 3 years, I was a site manager. So my dad had taught me things, so I had the opportunity to be in control and not have someone over me or picking on me or have other people my age to compete with. So I was at an advantage in that situation.
Yeah.
But some girls, you know, they're in a group of men, boys, and they're the only ones, and they seem to get picked on. And I feel that, you know, having that community, it was really good because the girls did really come together and discuss those things. At the events, I feel like it was all just a lot of fun. We were all there just to meet each other, and it's just, you know, if you go onto the website and have a look at some of the comments and things, testimonials that the Tradie Lady girls have made about the club and how it's changed their life and what it's done for them, it's all really positive, and it's really changed a lot of girls' lives in the fact that it's helped them, boosted their confidence to go and take that step and get into the trade, and how that and the trade has actually changed their lives. So a lot of people are going through a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression these days, and just taking that step into a different area can be quite scary. And I feel, and they've said that, you know, the Tradie Lady Club's been there for them and really helped them take that step. And having that community is just, yeah, it's just something else that never existed at that time. So, yeah.
So you know, what are some of the solutions? Obviously, being part of the community is a great thing, and it creates confidence. But some of those issues that you were talking about that were quite sad. What are some of the ideas that have come out of your conversations? What are some of the solutions? What are some of the suggestions that have come out of that to help your members be able to deal with some of the challenges that they're faced on a day-to-day basis that you've heard about?
So what I've heard about, a lot of girls have just explained that they mentioned it to the boss. So they would approach the boss and say, look, this is how I feel. This is what I've experienced. And, you know, if it's not, there's no solution and they're not actually getting looked after, maybe just look for someone else to work for, because it's not, because if it's a consistent thing happening and nothing's getting resolved and they're purely getting picked on because they're a female, that environment isn't a good environment to work in. So try and look for somewhere else to work. There are a lot of, we work alongside with Apprentice Group Australia, and if they're in an apprenticeship, they can gain a new one through them or help them find another job. So we do sort of steer them that way to get some advice and help on getting a new boss. But yeah, a lot of the banter and stuff that happens to the girls on site is pretty much it happens, and the only thing that you can really do is look up to the bosses or HR if they've got the HR department and just address the situation. I will just deal with it in my own way and tell them to all get stuff. But some girls don't have that in them, and they need a bit of assistance and help with that. So
yeah.
And
so you started your own business. You worked for your dad, and then you wanted to become a builder yourself. So I'm assuming you've started your own business. Are you finding that many other of the ladies in the club are thinking to themselves, well, rather than trying to find a boss that understands and make that work out well, many of them thinking, stuff this for a joke. I'm just going to start my own business. I'm going to get the qualifications and start my own business and run it the way that I want to run it.
Yeah, well, I think that's women, like, that's a really big push for women. I think a lot of them have that in mind from the start, because a lot of women that I've met from when this first started to now, a lot of them have their own company, which is amazing. Like, they've got a lot of Sparkies. They got Lani the Sparky, you got Beth Builds, like she's running her own building company, sort of carpentry company, and she's hiring all female carpenters, and there's just a big group of them, and they build. So, like, it's taken off. It's taken off. Some girls have gone in the different direction. Some girls are stuck with it, and they're opening their own businesses. Some have been on the block. Some have they've just taken off, and I love promoting them, and I love that they're all a part of the community, and they can all show, the girls what's in it for being in the industry. Like, there's a lot in it. It's not just having your own business, or you might start carpentry, but you might be like, I want to. This isn't for me, and you can just get your foot into something else. So, the building industry is so wide, and there's a lot of things that you can do once you're in the industry. So you don't have to just stick to the same thing for a long time. So, for example, me, I'd like to be a site manager. I'd love to be on the tools all my life, but, you do get older, or you do tend to have kids and things like that. So you can work from home, you can go to sites, you can drive around, or you can stay on the tools and open your own business. Whatever you want to do, it's a good industry to be in. And I find that a lot of girls do tend to want to start their own business. And because a lot of us do tend to have the kids and have to be away from the physical side of it for a while. So in that sense, when that happens, they can run a business and get, hire people to work for them while they're doing that. So I think that was the main goal for me, to be able to get to a position so when I was older, I could afford to sit back and run something while I was at home with the kids. So
yeah, very cool. Yeah. You mentioned events, get-togethers, all of that sort of stuff. Tell us about that. What are some of the crazy things and enjoyable things that you and the gang get up to when you get together?
Well, we've had a lot of events. We've had so when we first started, we were sponsored by Sydney Tools. So and before that was Total Tools. So we had massive events at their stores, and they'd hold like barbecues, and we'd have all like the tool stands there, just demonstrating tools, things like that. We'd have music, prizes, lots of different things. And then away from the tools, we went rock climbing, and then we went out for a night. I had to, got a bit wild and crazy. Some of the girls had to go home a bit early. There was just lots of different things. We go for dinners. What else have we done? We went. There's this place, I can't remember the name of it, where you go bowling and darts, and there's all different games there. So it's all just a bit of fun. I don't like going corporate, because the corporate side of things I tend to find bore the crap out of me. So I feel like tradies have got like a certain mind space where we don't like the corporate environment. Well, I don't. And that's why I became a tradie. So when we're having get-togethers and a bit of fun, that's the last thing I want to do. Corporate, have speakers and have to do certain things and listen. Like, no, I just want to have fun. I want to laugh. I want to get to know people, talk, communicate. And that's what the events are about, to come together and meet people. Like, heaps of new girls come to the events, and you just get to know them, know their trade. You get in contact with them. You connect on Instagram. You talk to each other, see what they're up to, and then get together again the next one. So it's a lot of fun. The funniest thing we had so far was the those blow up balls, and you chuck them over you, and then you like run and you play soccer and stuff.
Oh yeah. I can't remember what this has got. Some starts with a Z or something. Some bizarre name for them.
Yeah, so we hired that, and we had a big park party, and we had that game. It ended up turning into like rugby. The girls were like tackling each other. It was a ball. It was really fun, and it's a really good thing that girls look forward to. And I'll really plan to have a lot more in the future. I've had 3 kids in the last 3 years, 3 under 3 I've got, so a bit crazy. So yeah, life's a bit busy at the moment for me to try and plan events, but I do really, really want to have some this year.
Yeah, perfect. Now, you're in Melbourne, obviously. How does it work for you with other females all over the country? Obviously, the social media can connect. Do you have online events? Do you find that people join the Tradie Lady Club from other states and fly and get involved in your events? How does it work? And people listening to this that go, I want to jump in there. That sounds like fun. How was that dealt with? How do you handle that with interstate potential members?
Well, to be honest, the most the girls that come most frequently are from interstate. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, Louise has a party. I think you had her on this podcast
Yes.
as well. Yeah, so she's an ambassador from the Tradie Lady Club, and yeah, she comes to every event. So she flies down. We had another girl that's flew down as well. So they do come from interstate. We've had 2 girls from New Zealand come as well. So she and the Sparky Chick, New Zealand. So yeah, so which is her name's Brooke. So yeah, well, she came down from New Zealand. I helped with the flights, the funding of the flights for most of them, to help them get down. But yeah, it was just I wish I could have them more interstate events. I did have one in Sydney at the start. With Sydney Tools helped me have one there, which was awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of girls that come even from 2-3 hours drive still within the state. They do travel, and it's something that like you don't want to miss out on. Like every time there's an event and someone can't make it, they hate it. Like it's a really good community. It's a really fun, and the girls are just awesome. They're all awesome. There's no bitchiness. Everyone feels like super comfortable coming to the events, and everyone just feels welcome straight away. So yeah, come down. I do have a Facebook group. So it's called Tradie Lady Club. You can join the Facebook group. It's a private one. You have to be a qualified tradeswoman to get in. You can't just be, but like a traffic controller sort of thing. You have to be qualified or qualifying in a trade. And yeah, we announce the events on there. And the next one we're having is with Bowens. It's called Women in Trade. They have it every 2 years. It's on the 28th of March. It's going to be a massive one. And Bowen hosts that, and alongside with the Tradie Lady Club. So that's free food, free drinks, free entertainment. There's guest speakers there as well. That's going to be awesome. You can bring kids and family. So yeah, if you're interested in coming down to meet, a lot of the Tradie Lady Club girls will be there, and a lot of other non-Tradie Lady Club girls, but tradies that are women and people that support women in the trade, and it's a really good opportunity to network as well. So come down. It's at the Timber Yard in Port Melbourne. It's from 3 till 8 p.m. And yeah, on the 28th of March. So I think it's next Friday. Be there.
It is. We're recording this on the 17th. Not sure when it will go to air, but it should be well before then. But so we'll make sure that we have all of the links to Facebook and the Melbourne Chippy Chick Tradie Lady website. We'll have all of those links in the description, so anybody interested in learning more can jump on all of those links and get involved.
We sell merch as well. So it's got like the big Tradie Lady Club, logo on the back. So I don't know, if being a woman in the trade, you sort of feel alone, and wearing this top, it just feels like you have a bunch of girls on your back supporting you, and you're just like, oh, this is a club for tradie. Like everyone loves it. It's just really, it's a conversation starter, and it really helps you feel comfortable when you don't feel comfortable. So we do sell the merch as well, which is on the website. So yeah, the links will be there. So jump on and
absolutely. And as I said before, there's just nothing more beneficial and supportive than a community of people that understand the challenges that you and they are going through, and you find that, hang on, I'm not the only one that's feeling this way, and getting that support and all that sort of stuff is wonderful. So love your work, love what you've put together. Really encourage people to jump in and take a look and expand this even more. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. We'll potentially catch up with you some time in the future to find out where the Lady Tradie Club is heading and what you've accomplished. So it's wonderful to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure, absolutely. So that's it for this episode. If you know a lady tradie or you are a lady tradie and you want to jump in and join a community, I'm just a massive fan of communities like this. And I know from Builders Business Black Belt, we get all of our members, when we get together in person, we have an absolute blast, and it's just a terrific thing to do. So please jump onto the website and have a look at the Facebook page and reach out to Steph and have a chat about the Lady Tradies Club. The links will be in the description. Before we get out of here, just wanted to remind you, if you haven't taken the Builder Scorecard, the link is also in the description. 90 seconds, you'll get some really cool stuff to support you and your business and solving those little niggling issues that you have in your business, in your inbox, very, very quickly, and that will be very valuable. So jump on that and take the Builder's Scorecard. That is it for this episode of the podcast. We will be back with another episode before you know it. I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. That is all. I'm out. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the ToolShed. If this podcast struck a chord with you, make sure you spread the word by sharing it with your mates in the building industry. We love your help to make the building industry better for everyone involved.